Welcome to the Necromancer Starter Build Survival Guide for Diablo 3 patch 2.6.6 for Season 18. Now this is based around the Pestilence set. What these guides are a 0 to hero journey. We take you from level 1 all the way up to endgame recommendations. I will have timestamps in the description so you can skip around to whatever parts you need. Best way to start any season is by saving your Challenge Rift bag. Now the Challenge Rift resets today, Monday. Do not do it today, don't do it all week. Let me kind of show you here. Wait till Friday, make a seasonal character, and then claim your Challenge Rift bag on your seasonal character. That way you have a nice big start. You get all the stuff here on screen if you save it. You can unlock all your professions. You can do an upgrade with Hope of Cain. You have level 1 blood shards, gold, you can buy stuff from the vendors. It's a nice start to any season, and we're going to talk about the level 1 blood shards next. We're actually going to cover the Hope of Cain and the blood shards together because I think it's really important. Necro is super unique where they have a guaranteed multiplier if you do your upgrade, which with the Challenge Rift bag, as you just saw, you should have your guaranteed upgrade. Now you can do this with Demon Hunter with the dagger. I just don't think Toioiz is as good because you do run out of resource constantly. It's really hard to keep up while leveling and even early game to some extent. But overall Toioiz is great. It's not the most face roll type weapon. And then you have the Greenstone Fan. You really only use it when it's on cooldown. If you use the Lightning Rune with it. It's also not like the most amazing weapon. You don't see even anyone speed farming with it at 70. But with Necro, if you do the Hope of Cain recipe, and you make sure they're two-handed scythes, all 4 of them have multipliers on them. We're talking Relena's, so you would use the passive that gives you essence. You'd put essence in your Paragon. You couldn't do that while leveling, but in general, right? Make sure you have your scythe, a one-handed scythe or two-handed scythe with max essence on them. Also, your phylactery can get max essence, and you can essentially build however you want. This buffs everything. You can use it with Singularity. You can use it with Bone Spike or Nova. Just play however you want if you get Relena's. You can literally do this at level 1, right? Because we have enough materials from the Challenge Rift bag. Run to the cube, run back if you wanted. Okay, I'm giving you guys this as an alternative. And then you can play Relena's however you want. And you just always have extra damage as long as you have max essence. And then of course if you use Bone Spikes, you generate more essence. Nair's Black Death, again, super easy. My favorite Nair's spell would be like a Poison Nova. You can also use the Poison Mages. All you do is use all different poison skills. The Poison skill with Dislocation, the Poison Bone Spirit, the Poison Generators. You can get like easily 4 and not gimp your movement speed too much and still have like Blood Rush. So Nair's is really good. All of these face roll the content up into GR20. You have the Bone Spike, which synergizes great with Pestilence. Bone Spear costs 40 essence and deals 550% damage, right? Up to 700 actually. So Bone Spear is really good. You can even use the Teeth Rune if you wanted for more like a little baby multi-shot build. There's all kinds of different things you can do. And then the Blood Tide Blade, you use Death Nova, and you know, it just gives you multipliers on Death Nova and you crush everything. Okay, so this is something that you can do at level 1. I'm going to show you a full build path if you just want to use your blood shards. I guess I wanted to make something that was completely cohesive that you can understand from the beginning. One build to rule them all. I wanted to make one build that you can do at level 70 all the way to like your 6-piece when you start speed farming. And that's why I'm going to go with gloves again this season. Let me go to level 1. So at level 1, if you guys don't know, you can get some Necromancer gloves here. They're called Grasps of Essence. So as you can see right off the bat, Necro has a good start. Whether you go the upgrade route or you go this route, the Grasp of Essence give you a multiplier on Corpse Explosion. Whenever I leveled, especially like in a group setting or in rifts, I always use Corpse Explosion. I feel like it's so valuable. You get like a massive AoE, and even if I get the other multipliers that we talked about, I'm going to be using Corpse Explosion anyway. And it's the only pair of gloves you can get at level 1. So I would recommend you just fire it up, roll for gloves, and you'd be good to go. I wouldn't even get my cube if it was me, right? I wouldn't even get my cube until it was relevant, like I was doing bounties later on or something like that. The corpse gloves just literally allow you to face roll the content. While leveling, there's always corpses. You can even use multing to get corpses. And it's just such a smooth gameplay, the entire leveling process. I even used this build at level 60 or 70 to do early game speed farming. I hope it wasn't too confusing. you're more than welcome to do the upgrade and get your gloves. All right, let's talk about leveling up. So leveling up, you do get corpse explosions super early, like level 4 to 10 territory. So you'll have that, and you'll have your gloves. You won't be able to use your corpse explosion gloves, aggressive essence, until level 16. You can run and get the cube like we talked about and put them in right away, but 1 to 16 is so fast, I would just grind, you know, it's pretty quick. At level 10 or so, I would go back and check the fence vendors in every town for rings and amulets. You want the plus damage amulets with Necromancer, it's really important. Also, while leveling, you want to focus on red gems. Red gem in your helm gives you XP, red gem in your weapon gives you more damage, and in your armor, actually, you would use probably intelligence gems or topaz. At level 40, I'd craft a two-handed weapon. I wouldn't craft a scythe though, because they can get maximum essence as a secondary. That goes with almost every class weapon. You don't want any of this stuff kind of muddling up your secondary pool. Make a two-handed mace, and obviously you want to look for things like CC and life on your weapon. We have a full challenger video. We have a leveling video in the description. Definitely check them for more in-depth information. So you can see that we want to leave the crowd control on, because if we rolled off the crowd control, we would have to deal with all these different affixes. But if we just roll off the XP, there's only a few, right? There's only 4. If we did have life on the primary, then we wouldn't even have to worry about any kind of life either. So you just click it. I hope I don't get a good one. 18, okay, not bad. And then now you can equip this before you're level 70. So it's really nice. Empty bash. Once you have this, you can obviously bump it up to T6, T3 even at the very least. If you're on hardcore, I probably wouldn't go past T1, just because you do get caught sometimes. You do get walled in, boxed in, and you don't want to lose your character on launch night. That might kill your motivation. At level 61, rings start to drop, amulets start to drop that are really powerful, ROS gear. At level 61 and up, you should be replacing all your previous gear, because it's the expansion level content when we got that, and it's really powerful. The level 61 gear you want to look out for is cooldown everywhere for Necro, man. You want to keep up Land of the Dead as much as possible. Just look for cooldown everywhere. Your second stats would be like crit and crit damage, intelligence, main stat, right? Okay, boom. You hit 70, congratulations. What do we do from here? Well, let me just go into a deep dive into the build and talk about everything. That way you get an understanding of what we're going to be doing. This is the main build we're going to be using the entire process. So, like I said, we're not reliant on Land of the Dead. We do have the Golem. The Golem creates corpses for us, which you could also get Golem pants, I believe, at level 23 if you wanted to roll for them on your leveling up process. Like, let's say you get Grass of Essence. When you hit 23, you can actually roll Golem skin pants if you wanted, just as a tidbit. So yeah, Golem's going to spawn 8 corpses for us. And at 5, we get our maximum corpse explosion bonus with our gloves. So blah, 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 blah. And then you have your full 8 bonus with corpse explosion. And you probably created all kinds of corpses with that. And look how fast it's up. With the passive, it reduces the cooldown by 30%. If you had the Golem pants, it does reduce the cooldown even further. That's kind of nice. You could even get them just while leveling, right? Land of the Dead obviously gives us perma corpses for 10 seconds. So you pop Land of the Dead on the Rift Guardian. Definitely save this for the RG. Our single target's kind of crappy, so this is what would blow up the Rift Guardian, right? You just sit here and it's just a fireworks show for 10 seconds. I really like Dark Reaping with the build because we don't have a lot of sustain, so this gives us, we don't have cannibalism, right, with Devour, and that usually keeps Necromancers topped off, so this definitely helps. Standalone, you get almost a full bonus. We only have 1 pet active. I do like Final Service even on softcore and hardcore, but you can swap this out for something else like Blood is Power to get more cooldown, or more movement speed, or more globes. There's a lot of good passives with Necro you can use. You can even use Eternal Torment or Spreading Malediction since we're using Aura of Frailty. So as we're corpse explosioning, hopefully these enemies get killed at 15% health. It just is more efficient overall. We need Blood Rush for movement speed and Bone Spear. So Bone Spear is important. You're going to have your full bonus. So if you don't know about the Pestilence set, the 2-piece, when you consume a corpse, it fires a corpse lance at an enemy. If you put a corpse lance on your bar, you can change the rune. I think that affects it. So if you want to swap something out for corpse lance, you can get one of these options. I would say while leveling, Ricochet is probably the best. But I'm pretty good with this build. We focus mostly on corpse explosion anyway. So yeah, the 2-piece, when you consume a corpse, you fire a lance at an enemy. It happens every time we cast Corpse Explosion. And each enemy hit with Bone Spear, Corpse Lance, or Corpse Explosion, increase your damage reduction. So we get all of our bonuses just by casting Corpse Explosion. We're good to go. We don't have to think about the set bonus. You just play the build how it's intended and you're rock solid. Before I jump into the GR20 clear, I just want to give you guys some tips and tricks. Again, you can do your Hope of Cain at level 70 if you haven't done it yet. You can wear the weapon, and that's another good thing about not cubing your Hope of Cain. You can actually wear it right away, so that's a benefit there. You can go kill Malthael in Act 5. Get Reaper's Wraps, you can get that on any difficulty, that'll give you resource. But we don't necessarily need it with this build, but if you were playing any other spender build, you can get your Reaper's Wraps that way and craft them with Hadrig. We have enough materials from the Challenge Rift cache to then craft Reaper's Wraps and do an upgrade. First legendary gem you get every single season is a Bane of the Powerful, so just go do a level 1 GR and get your 20% damage increase. When you hit level 70 and you have some leftover blood shards to spend, I think I would make a level 1 Necromancer alt again and try to get Relena's. Relena's is the Skeletal Mage ring, and you would use this with Singularity. Singularity is going to be your best speed farming build, so definitely focus on that. If you're going to build into the Blood and Essence Necromancer, which is in the description below, then maybe you roll something from that list, like maybe a Phylactery would be a second best option after the ring. Again, roll those rings to level 1, man. Don't worry, you got to get that early. Necro can finally use the Sage set this season, so if you get a Ring of Royal Grandeur, you can wear the ring and then wear the Sage set here, like your pants and your belt. They added a belt to the set, so every class set can use a Sage set now. If you get Captain Crimson, that'll give you 20% cooldown and a lot of damage, so you can use that. Definitely there's a lot of stuff you can do. Pay attention to your patterns. They even buffed the AUG guild set. Anyway, I can blab all day long. Let's go do the GR20 clear. No shenanigans, nothing in the queue but the Corpse Explosion Gauntlets. We got a level 1 and the 4-piece bonus. No Paragon was used in the video. And yeah, no, I mean, I would normally have this equipped, right? And we normally would have that free guaranteed upgrade. So even the weapon scaling would be higher. So let's go jump in and do our GR20 clear. You pretty much want to open with the Golem, that way you have corpses instantly. So we're not even relying on Land of the Dead. Golem, and then boom, we start spamming. And this guy's being tough, so I'm going to pull him over here. More corpses. This guy's a little tough, man. I might just leave him. There he is. Okay, I was like, Frailty might get him, actually. Let's keep going, and you can see Golem's almost off cooldown after their first fight already. Cast the Golem again. Kill everything. And, uh-oh. A lot of explosions. This is pretty smooth, like, what you do. You can even swap out Bone Spear for, let's say you can swap it out for, like, a Bone Spirit. And Bone Spirit has like a 4,000 damage nuke attached to it. So we have Golem up again. So you can see if you just use the passive, it's pretty chilly. And then bam, just like that, everything's dead. And then your corpses are flying out, killing other things. So I'm gonna cast Golem, get my corpses, and then those corpses create more corpses. It's like a domino effect, right? So I'm always tweaking my builds. So you can actually swap out Bone Spear for the Ricochet rune unless, like, let's say unless you don't care, I don't care. So once I get my 6-piece, you're going to be using this because they get empowered, which we'll talk about soon. Go run over here. And we haven't used Line of the Dead one time, right? Line of the Dead's like our badass cooldown. Here comes the Golem. More corpses everywhere. And it's just dominoes. It just keeps rolling in here. So let's pop Line of the Dead, and then now we're just infinite corpses. It's just a light show at that point. And you want to definitely save it for the Rift Guardian. There it is, nice. You want to save it for the RG because, yeah, single target's our weakest thing. You can see like in the beginning on that Elite, it took a little bit more corpses. We do have multing, so we do create even more corpses by just blood rushing around, you know? So if you need one more hit, you can do a little blood rush and pop it there. Insane speed with just one item from level 1. Congratulations, you did your GR20 clear. Boom, now you have your 6-piece bonus. You could instantly go right to T7 with Necro. You're a little squishy always with Necromancer, but if you have those Golem pants, you have a little bit more damage reduction that we talked about. Or if you catch anything along the way that gives you more damage reduction, like a Dainty's Binding, that would synergize with Frailty and just give you 50% damage reduction. So you could get this. You could roll belts if you have more blood shards. But let's showcase like a T7 level build with just the 6-piece bonus and nothing else like we just showed, right? There's a T7 level Rift. We're gonna do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna jump in, cast Corpse Explosion, and then bam, things start dying. It's even stronger now because we have our 6-piece. I'm gonna pop Land of the Dead on these kids. Try not to die myself, man. You know, poppers. I'm surprised I didn't die with grotesques everywhere. Let's pop it right. We almost have the golem. Let's do it right here. It'll start snowballing for us. There it is. So you can see, like, you basically, I tried to make a build that was easy to transition the entire way, that you can just literally play, even from level 1. And then now you can use Bone Spear, because now we killed. So now we created the corpses that way. You want to be sparingly though, like 1 or 2 shots is all you have. You don't have that much essence until you get more kills. Let's go find a juicier room here. Let's pull them all. I don't want to pop the pylons. I want to get like a realistic demonstration. Here comes the golem. And those corpses create more corpses. The domino effect is real. You are a little squishy, so maybe you can do like, let's say you do like, I don't know, T4 until you get more stuff, or T5. On hardcore, maybe like T4, just until you get more items here. We have Land of the Dead, we might as well use it, but nothing juicy. I kind of like to wait for elites, like right here. Pop Land of the Dead. Well, they're not close to each other, but oh my god, look at the power, you know? And then the corpse lances are shooting out. If you have the corpse shoulders, it should buff corpse lance as well. As you're using this build, grinding for gear, the first thing you want to build into is probably the Blood and Essence Necro from Fluff. And then this is like your laundry list of things you'll need, like basically cooldown everywhere, right? Like Captain Set gives you cooldown, Zodiac gives you cooldown. You can see CDR here, on the gloves, I'm assuming CDR. So yeah, focus on that. These are the gems you need. And I'll put a link in the description for you. This build like has perma Land of the Dead. It utilizes the new Reaver item, Messerschmitt's Reaver. And like I said, those corpse gauntlet, those corpse shoulders will affect the 2-piece bonus, so you will get more damage there. And yeah, this is like the first thing that you build into. Eventually I would play Legacy of Nightmares or Legacy of Dreams, Singularity. That's going to be a better option. But this is super baller, and you can actually play this the entire way also. This is like something that you would eventually build into for Paragon farming, for crazy key farming, for speed runs, the Lawn Singularity version of the build. I'll put a link to this in the description. I'm going to go through and tweak it a little bit more, but this is essentially what it looks like, right? There's no gem here. This would be the dream gem. This is where you'd put that. So overall, Necro's in a great spot. I mean, you're needed in all the group metas. This group speed meta, the group push meta. You have Thorns build also is really interesting. I'll put a tier list in the description that has all the popular Necro builds in it, all the builds in the game also. So definitely check the description for the tier list. Salon Thorns Necro is the strongest version of Necromancer. I just don't like the playstyle. So yeah, I didn't really talk about things I like mostly, I guess. There's some good twos comps with Necro. You can run like double Necro, like a Necromancer Barb. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's pretty fast for speeds. The only downside is it's a high nuance class. There's always like a lot of things. You have to worry about corpses and curses, and there's a lot going on typically. So you have to try to fit, you know, 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag basically with Necro, because they have extra mechanics. It's a little squishy too at times, but overall it's a solid class. You guys will have fun if you choose it this season. If you want to support, you can follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. Sorry about that. You can support on Patreon. Follow me on Twitch. Follow, like, support everywhere you would like. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I appreciate all the love I get already. That's going to be all for me today. I'm going to get working on the next starter video here on stream today. So I'm going to get back to work, man. I got like 2 more to do. So this is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.